father on his 70th. I'm sure by this time this is read and you are surrounded by everyone who is important in your life. And hopefully all the tears have dried up and you are enjoying your night. I'll bet this is the first time everyone over tonight has been in the same room together. It's truly a special evening and it breaks my heart that I'm not there to share it with you. "70 years ago, a little boy was introduced into the world. A young couple from Queensland decided to name him Dennis, I'm good, with one N. So I often sit around and I think of the different worlds we grew up in. The story you told me about playing on the beach with your brothers and sisters and not knowing of the limited precious time you had left with your mother. And the effort she made to make every second count with you. I think her actions that day started shaping you into the man that you are today. And from that point on, your father took on a massive role of raising a young family on his own and teaching you valuable lessons, like right before Christmas when he asked you for the money in your pocket and you gave it to a stranger. I'm sure that you were confused and disappointed at this time, but times like that are what define us as people, and you're at the top of the list as a father and a person. As the year went by, you educated yourself, graduated from university with no financial help, and went out on a blind date and met a girl from Nambour and fell in love, married, gained employment, and moved to Germany, and met one of your best friends, whom is sitting at the table right now, Walter. Had 2 kids, moved to the USA, where 2 more were added to the clan. And just think about, and I think that sums it up. Well, how's that for a time warp?
This is where my memories really begin. I've decided to do a list, not of all time, but of my early years. Riverton comes to mind. I used to wait anxiously for you to come home from business trip and yell, "Hey, Bongs!" Not sure what it means, but in my mind, it meant that Dad was home and it was time to slow motion wrestle and pop the bubbles on the sheet of bubble wrap you would always bring me. He would do that with his bare feet. Yeah. Dad's home. A man broke into our house and Mom chased him out with a fire poker stick. The next morning, you realized he took your winter coat. Your response was that you hope he is warm. That is my first real memory of you showing us your compassion for everyone, even those who are down on their luck. Making the Super 8 home movies is one of my fondest memories as a child, especially the one where we kidnapped my little sister. While digging up the stump in the front yard, you hooked a cable to the station wagon. It snapped, and it hit me. I can still see you jump out of the car and run over to see if I was okay. You then said, "Well, that was a dumb idea." Coming home from school one day and wondering who the lady in the front yard was with the afro hairdo. To my surprise, it was my mom. I ran away for the first time. You gave me a 5-pack of beer for my trip. Number 6 was in your hand. You and Mom watched me sit on the curb till I got bored and came back inside. I almost made it out of the yard. Must have had my big boy pants on that day. Didn't have the balls to drink the beer and handed it back at the door. Teaching Heidi and I how to ride a bike at the top of the hill, and the only problem was that there was a pool at the end of the runway. You remember that? There was a huge dog next door that always said if I didn't finish my dinner, you were going to give it to him.
Yeah.
I should have said no worries, give it to the dog. I still don't like lima beans, by the way. I watched you silently mourn the passing of your father when you received a call from Australia. I was sitting in the living room crying because my hero was upset. I always wanted to thank you for giving me the privilege of retrieving Paul Steele's poop off the bottom of the pool when you had a net for that shit. Hope you had a good laugh.
Oh, we did.
From there you took us all on a wonderful adventure. One more move to Malacca Hill, Australia, Canada, and finally back to the US where you are now. Through all these years, I thank you. You've never given me a reason not to be proud of you.
You're making us all cry.
You've never let me down, always kept your word, and most of all, given me unconditional love. You and Mom have been there for the births of all of your grandchildren. That is not an easy feat when you look at a map where we all are. Dad, we are all so proud to have you in our lives. Don't ever forget that. I have big boots to fill. That really hit me when I was in the hospital with Brady and saw the look on your face the second you laid eyes on him. In my heart, it was like seeing you looking into the future and knowing that there is another soul on earth to carry on Pa Condon's name for at least another generation. He is a true blue Aussie born and bred. Sometimes he gives me this look and I swear it is a mini version of you. It's kind of intimidating, to be honest. In a good way, of course. The guy beside me just asked if I was okay. My eyes are getting watery. I love you, Dad. Please continue to look after my mother and sisters till I can figure out a way to get closer to you all. I'll leave you with a final quote from some very wise men handed down through the generations. Giving will never empty your pocket, nor loving empty your heart. Edward Vincent Condon, Denis Miles Condon, Jason Edward Condon, Brady Thomas Condon.
Thank you, love.